The night was unusually quiet. Street lamps flickered as a small boy, no more than 12, stood trembling in front of the massive iron gates of the millionaire's mansion. His clothes were torn, his shoes scuffed, and in his tiny hands he clutched a folded letter, worn at the edges. Every instinct screamed at him to turn back, but something deeper, something unstoppable, pushed him forward. The guards noticed him first. "Go home, kid. You don't belong here," one barked, sharp and amused. Guests inside peeked curiously, through the grand windows. Whispers filled the hall. "Who is this boy? Look at those rags." Yet he lifted his chin, eyes brimming with fear, hope, and determination. "I must speak to him," he whispered. The gates remained closed. The world seemed against him. But within moments, his words would silence the most powerful man in that house, a revelation no one expected. The boy's life had always been a struggle. His mother worked long hours at a small cafe, barely able to feed them both. Their home was cramped, leaky, and filled with the scent of old wood and hardship. Nights were spent hungry, yet he held on to a quiet pride. He had a dream. One day, he would prove that dignity and courage mattered more than money or status. At school, he was mocked mercilessly. "Go play with the dogs," some would sneer, pointing at his torn shoes. Still, he persisted. He remembered his father's words. "One day, someone will see your worth, even if the world doesn't." Meanwhile, across the city, the millionaire lived in a world of opulence. His mansion towered over the neighborhood, gold-tinted lights, spilling onto marble floors. Every corner of his life screamed power and influence. He had forgotten the small gestures of kindness that once shaped his childhood, the friends and mentors who had lifted him when life was cruel. Tonight, fate was about to collide their worlds. The boy clutched a letter, a small piece of paper, yet capable of changing everything. It carried a truth the millionaire would never see coming. Determined, the boy stepped closer to the mansion gates. A neighbor appeared, shaking his head. "Leave, kid. They won't care. Rich people never do." But he ignored the warning. As he approached, the mansion's security guard stepped forward. "Stop right there! You can't enter!" one said. Laughter echoed from inside as guests noticed the tiny figure at the gates. "Why is that beggar even here?" someone whispered. The boy's hands shook, but he held the letter tight. "I need to speak to him," he insisted. The guards scoffed and tried to push him back, but he refused to move. A silent tension fell over the street, the kind that makes bystanders hold their breath. The millionaire, alerted by the disturbance, glanced at the boy. "Who is this?" he asked, a faint smirk on his face. "Throw him out," someone suggested. But something in the boy's eyes, raw and unyielding, made him hesitate. The guards argued, trying to intimidate the boy. "You'll regret coming here," one threatened. But the boy stepped forward, voice trembling yet clear. "Before you close the gates forever, read this once." The millionaire raised an eyebrow, curious yet amused. "A letter? From who?" he asked, leaning back into the luxurious warmth of his mansion. Guests murmured, expecting a pitiful story. But the boy's determination was unwavering. Time slowed. The world outside the mansion seemed to fade. Every mocking laugh died down, replaced by an uncomfortable silence. Something in the air whispered that tonight the balance of power might shift. The boy handed the letter to the millionaire. With a flick of his fingers, he unfolded it, expecting nothing extraordinary. But as he read, his eyes widened, then filled with tears. The letter was from his childhood mentor, a person the millionaire had long forgotten, telling him that the boy was their son, left behind due to unforeseen tragedy, carrying the legacy of love and loyalty. "If ever my son comes to you hungry, remember the days I saved your life," it read. Silence enveloped the mansion. The millionaire's arrogance crumbled. All the wealth, all the pride, suddenly seemed meaningless. The boy stood tall, small but unyielding, while the richest man in the room finally understood humility, gratitude, and the true meaning of wealth. The millionaire stepped forward, his voice trembling. I am sorry, he said. He invited. The boy inside offered him warmth, food, and a seat at the table he had never imagined sharing. Guests, previously amused, now lowered their heads in shame. The boy's eyes sparkled, not from gold or silk, but from recognition, dignity, and the satisfaction of truth unveiled. The mansion, once a fortress of arrogance, had become a place of awakening. That night, the millionaire learned a lesson no money could buy. Compassion and humanity are the truest treasures of all. Wealth can close gates, build walls, and create distance. But the truth has a way of breaking through. 1. Letter, one moment of courage, and one small boy reminded the richest man in the city what real wealth truly is. Life often tests us, pushing the powerless to the edge. Yet in that testing, there lies an opportunity, not just for them, but for those with privilege, to recognize, to reflect, and to act. If this story moved you, share it. Let the world know that no matter how high the gates, humanity, courage, and honesty can always open doors.